How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. Today we're going to be talking about self-made. We're going to be coming from Romans 2:14, and it says, "For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature what is contained in the law, these, having not the law, are law unto themselves." Now, what does this mean? Henry Ford said it this way: "You believe that you can do a thing, or you believe that you can't do a thing, then you're correct." Whatever it is that we believe, that's what's going to show up in our world. A lot of us, we look at the principles of Neville and we say, well, these things don't work for us. And when we look at why they don't work, a lot of it comes down to our core belief about the principles that we're discussing. So when you find that anything that you're trying to do, if it's not working for you, then change it up or change your belief system. Because, see, what happens is you become a law unto yourself. Mr. Linder will often say, they themselves are makers of themselves. And that's where we get this text. It says that we become a law unto ourselves, or the Gentiles. Now, when we're talking about the Gentiles were those who were non Jews. But when you look at the word in the Greek and Hebrew concordance, it basically means ethnos. So, ethnos is where our word ethnics comes from, or ethnicity. A lot of times people confuse race and ethnicity. Race is one's origin of birth. Whether you be black, Hispanic, Asian, white, Indian, whatever your race is. But ethnicity is speaking of one's culture. See, we can be of many races and be of the same ethnicity. For example, when we're looking at the Neville Goddard community, that's a ethnicity of belief systems. We all fall up under the umbrella of a particular mindset, whether you call it law of attraction, law of assumption, whatever you call that. We fall up under the umbrella of new thought, new way of thinking, and so forth. So that's a ethnicity. And under that ethnicity, there's male, females, different races up under that umbrella, different religious belief systems under that umbrella. So when they talk about when the Gentiles, they're talking about nations or ethnicity or belief systems. When the Gentiles, having not the law, do by nature, when we talk about that word nature, when you look at it from a Greek perspective, it's basically physical. So what we do in the physical, the 3D, apart from what we know about the law, what is the law? As you think you are, be it unto you according to your belief. All of these things going back to belief. So, whatever it is that you do believe in the law or about the law, then it becomes true for you. Even a lie, if believed long enough, will become your reality. As Neville would often say, there is no fiction. So it says, when the Gentiles, the ethnos, those in that common community, whatever that community is. Now understand, if your community is one of lack, loss, and limitation, or being victimized, if that's the mindset, then everybody under that ethnos will begin to outpicture a similar reality, and it will confirm what it is that you believe in that ethnos or that mindset. See, for example, Jewish people in the Jewish culture believe that God has created them to prosper. What is your belief system and what is your family's belief system? Because depending upon that belief system, it's going to become a law for you. Now, if you're not happy with your current reality, then you have to begin moving towards a different belief system. By nature, they do the things that are contained in the law. So even if a person doesn't understand or even believe in the law, many people say, I don't believe in that law of attraction stuff. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. You do by nature, by your physical outpicturing, your lifestyle, the things contained in the law. It says, these who? The Gentiles or the ethnos, whatever that community is. So if a person believes that money's evil, then in their community, they're going to act as a repellent for money. If a person believes that there's no good men out there, there's no good women out there, then in their ethnos or their group or their belief system, then they're going to reflect, of course, that there are no good men out there, that there are no good women out there, and they're going to keep reproducing the same. Recently, I had put a quote of Neville's, and it basically said that the world is yourself pushed out. The truth of the matter is, the world is God pushed out. When we use God consciousness, we become a reflector of what it is that we've given our attention to. Now, somebody says, well, listen, I'm having a hard time understanding, because I didn't create this. Understand this. When we're talking about everyone is yourself pushed out, everyone is your belief about them. The two of us could be looking at the same individual, but we have a different belief system about that individual. Now, I can say, I like this person because this person is very likable. But because you've had contention with this individual, you say, well, I don't like this person because she is not trustworthy. Now, what you're going to do is find the evidence, pushed out the evidence of a person not being trustworthy. What I'll reflect and push out is a person who is trustworthy. So everyone is the mirror of what we believe them to be. So two people could be looking at the same traffic accident and have totally two different reports because they're each pushing out a different image from, of course, different memories that cause a different outpicturing. If I have a memory that says God is always prospering me, then I will look at an event as an opportunity to prosper. If I have a mindset that says money is always difficult for me to manifest, then I will see that same event as a struggle. So, what is it that you're picturing? Because, see, whatever it is that you're picturing in your mind's eye, the law, that's what's going to be manifested in your world. But it goes on to say, these, talking about, of course, ethnos or the Gentiles or those who are in that community, that belief system, under the umbrella of that belief, having not the law, they become a law unto themselves. Mr. Linder will often quote, they themselves are makers of themselves. That embodies what we're talking about today. We become a law unto ourselves. It says, those who know not the law, but do the works of the law will be blessed by the law. But those who know the law, but fail to do the works of the law, they will experience the consequences of the law. So it says that it's not the hearers of the law solely, but it's those who practice what it is that they've heard. I've often said it and I'll say it again, and I know that many of you don't like hearing this, but it's necessary for you to get this. Lifestyle always mirrors or follows your belief system. You are a law unto yourself. And whatever it is that you truly believe, that's what you're going to live out. And when you begin to take on a different belief system, when you begin to operate under a different ethnos, mindset, group, culture, when your cultural beliefs shift and you begin to believe and say that everything that I do works out for my good, that money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Now, at first, when you begin to say it, you're not going to believe it. But as you begin to repeat it and you begin to see the evidence, the outpicturing of that thing, that outpicturing of the law, you begin to repeat it more and more, and it will become your new ethnos, mindset, lifestyle. It goes on to say, those having not the law. So, whether you believe in the law or not, you are operating in the works of the law. Now, for the person that says, I don't believe in all this law of attraction stuff, I don't believe in all this law of assumption stuff, but they begin practicing right thinking or thinking according to what it is that they want to bring about in their life. Call it an affirmation, call it, a belief system, call it a visualization, whatever you want to call that thing. When you begin seeing that thing real for you, whether you believe in the law of attraction, law of assumption, or whatever you want to call these principles, let's just say law. When you begin operating from the law consciously, you'll begin to experience the benefits of the law as you think you are, you have, you do, you be. But now it's possible to know about the law, but think and live contrary to what it is that you know about the law. So you speak words out of your mouth of lack, loss, and limitation, but you keep affirming abundance, for example. What do you think that you're going to get? It's not going to be abundance, because even if abundance was drawn to you, you would dispel it by calling it a curse. You would think that somebody was trying to get over on you, somebody was trying to get away with something. And so even the gift that they were offering you, you would think to yourself, what's behind the gift? But when you're operating from a mindset of abundance, you say that it's natural for people to want to give me things, and I receive it gladly with thanksgiving. So, really, what we're talking about is a shift in consciousness. When we begin to operate from a place of law, whether we understand how law works or not, it's like somebody told me recently. I know a guy that everything he does seems to turn to gold. He can take a pile of manure and turn it into gold. That's a belief system. Now, that guy may not even understand that he's operating under a law, but he's benefiting from the law because he's doing the works of the law, even in not knowing the law. Now, many of us know the law, these principles, and we say, well, coach, they're not working for me. No, they're always working. You just have to redirect them towards what it is that you want to manifest in your life. When you become not only a hearer of these principles, but a doer of these principles, and they become a lifestyle. You don't say, well, I've done it for a week and nothing's changed. I've done it for a month and nothing's changed. I've done it for 2 years even, and nothing's changed. It has to become a lifestyle for you creators. And as it becomes a lifestyle, you find yourself under a new ethos, grouping, community, and you begin to benefit from that change of consciousness or your understanding of the law. And let me end by saying that in not knowing the law, but you begin to operate from the law, Mr. Linder will often say, think of what's lovely and of a good report. Now, some of you would say, well, coach, I can't do that all day long. Of course not. But you can do it more often. And as you give your attention to that more often, what you're going to discover is the law Mr. Lindell so often quotes. They themselves are makers of themselves, creators. I say this week after week. Only you can create your perfect world, not God or man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day.